It's Curtis Patrick, the lead Dynasty football writer for Pro Football Focus Fantasy, and you're watching another episode of Dynasty 2-Minute Drill. I wanted to take a look pre-NFL draft at what the PFF rankings team thinks of the incoming rookie class. How are they comparing them and contrasting them with veterans, and who would they rather have in startups, and particularly in the top 100, because this is basically the first 8.5 rounds of a startup. This is the guys that are going to be in your starting lineup. So who do these guys think are going to come in and be starters pretty quickly and start providing some, return on investment after your rookie draft? So if I look at the top 100, I'm seeing 12 rookies in there as of today. It's 8 running backs and 4 wide receivers, and the front half of that top 12 is really running back heavy. It's 5 running backs and just 1 receiver. So let's go ahead and run down these names, talk a little bit about what it means for what you can expect in your rookie drafts if you happen to draft before the NFL draft, and also how comfortable should you be if you got a pick at the end of the first round. So the number 1 rookie prospect, according to our fantasy rankings team, is Saquon Barkley. That's obviously no surprise, but what is maybe a bit of a surprise is that they're ranking him as a top 5 overall dynasty asset before he's ever stepped foot on a football field. So they've got him ranked number 4 overall. When I think about the last 5 to 7 years, this is pretty rare air. Ezekiel Elliott was pretty much a consensus first round, startup value. So was Todd Gurley, but man, this is not an every year occurrence. So if you own the 101 this year, congratulations. I mean, it's worth a mint. After Barkley, there's a huge drop off, and we go down to 39 overall. We've got Darius Geis, and then within about a round and a half of him, we've got Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, and Rashad Penny. So if you don't have the 101, you still have great opportunity, to draft another running back in the front half of your rookie draft, and he's going to be having that rookie valuation among the top 50 to 60 players overall in Dynasty, according to the PFF Dynasty rankings team. And you got to feel really good about that. So, if I'm pulling the trigger early in the rookie draft on the running back, it's the equivalent of a, top 5 round value, let's say. Now, DJ Moore's the first wide receiver that shows up in the top 100 from a rookie perspective, and Cortland Sutton's right behind him. James Washington and Calvin Ridley also show up a little bit later, but what's really telling about what our team thinks about these guys is that they're all in the bottom half of that top 12. So it's not necessarily that we don't think they have potential to be a fantasy alpha, if you will, but there's just more questions about these guys than the running backs. So maybe we need to see a little bit more about, which offensive coordinator or which quarterback do these guys get tied to before we feel comfortable pulling the trigger early and ranking these guys inside the top 50 of a dynasty startup. So more to come on that. I would expect a couple of these guys maybe to rise up those ranks once we really know more about their landing spot. Another thing I wanted to talk about in the back half is that there's more running backs available. So, there's 5 at the front half of this top 12, but there's 3 more in the back half. And if you're somebody that feels, stuck, or maybe you're feeling desperate, like I got to move into this top 5 and I've been trying to make trades and nobody's listening, nobody wants to trade down, you can, breathe a sigh of relief, because there's 3 guys that, our 4-man dynasty rankings team thinks deserve that starter level value in a dynasty startup, and it's Ronald Jones, Royce Freeman, and Kerryon Johnson. So if you're in the back half of the first round, you can pull the trigger on one of those guys. Still feel like maybe they're in the flex to running back 2 team picture even as early as 2018, and certainly by 2019, because if a team invests early draft capital in a running back, they're going to get some carry share very early.